If you've got 5 minutes to spare and need a refresher on the Game of Thrones saga, here's a quick breakdown of everything that happened in Season 7. Look out for falling shards of the wall. And as if we still have to remind you, there's some gnarly HBO-style mature content coming at you. Keep all 3 eyes open. All the show's many threads begin to converge as Season 7 opens. Queen Cersei faces enemies from all sides as the combined might of the Mother of Dragons, the Unsullied, the Second Sons, the Dothraki, Highgarden, and Dorne arrive at Dragonstone and prepare for their march to King's Landing. But if we've learned anything about the Lannisters by now, it's that they're not to be underestimated, and Cersei has at least one ace up her sleeve in the form of the bloodthirsty Euron Greyjoy. Euron scores several early victories as he decimates the Dornish fleet and distracts the Unsullied long enough for Jaime to sack Highgarden. Yara, the Sand Snakes, and Lady Olenna are all taken off the board, but Olenna has the last laugh, revealing that she was the one who poisoned Joffrey even as she commits suicide. And while Theon flees rather than face death or capture, he eventually gets in touch with his inner Ironborn and pledges to rescue his sister. At this point, Dany is fed up with her mounting losses. She leads the Dothraki in an attack on the Lannister army, reminding everyone in Westeros just how deadly a dragon can be in the right hands. Unfortunately, Drogon is wounded by one of Qyburn's nasty inventions, this big-ass arrow. Things aren't going swimmingly in Winterfell either, even as Arya and Bran finally make their way home for a family reunion. Jon and Sansa bicker over how to lead the North. Jon decides to travel to Dragonstone and form an alliance with Daenerys, leaving Sansa to watch over the North, while the sneaky Littlefinger does his sneaky little thing. Littlefinger nearly succeeds in turning the Stark sisters against one another, but he finally pushes his luck too far. With his crimes exposed and his allies deserting him, Arya adds Littlefinger to her increasingly long kill list. And just super casually too, like doesn't bother her a bit. Jon and Dany don't get along at first, mostly because Jon is too worried about the White Walkers to be intimidated by Westeros' newest would-be queen. Luckily, Tyrion convinces Dany to give Jon a gift of dragonglass as a goodwill gesture. Tyrion then sneaks back into King's Landing to convince Jaime to stop fighting and hold peace talks. To Jaime's surprise, Cersei agrees. To his even bigger surprise, she reveals that she's pregnant again. Jon decides the only way to make Cersei see reason is to travel north of the wall and bring back a white as proof. To do so, he assembles the ultimate Westerosi supergroup: Jorah, Gendry, the Hound, Tormund, and the Brotherhood Without Banners. Just a bunch of badasses. But even with all that muscle, Jon's team barely accomplished their mission. Thoros dies, Jon is narrowly saved by his uncle Benjen, and Dany loses Viserion to the Night King. But in the end, Jon and Dany are able to bring living proof of the White Walker threat to Cersei. The peace talks are cut short when Jon refuses to stay neutral, as he's now pledged his full allegiance to the Mother of Dragons. Jon also pledges his full something else to Dany, as they don't waste much time before they start singing that Song of Ice and Fire, if you catch my drift. They're doing it now. Tyrion pleads with Cersei to see reason and believes he's finally convinced her to abandon her war, but Cersei reveals to Jaime that she plans on taking advantage of the war against the White Walkers, hiring the Golden Company to wipe out Dany's army when the time is right. This turns out to be the final straw for Jaime, and he leaves to play his part in defending his country. Through it all, Sam has been keeping very busy at the Citadel, healing Jorah's Greystone infection and studying all sorts of forbidden tomes. When Sam finally returns to Winterfell, he and Bran make a startling discovery. Jon is actually the son of Rhaegar Targaryen, making him the rightful king of Westeros and Dany's nephew. Ancest. That discovery may not matter that much in the end, though. The season ends with the Night King's vast army marching on Eastwatch, and with a newly minted zombie dragon at his command, the Night King is able to finally shatter the wall and begin advancing on Westeros itself. Winter truly has arrived. For more Game of Thrones, check out Season 6 in 5 minutes and Cinefix's 3 brilliant moments from the Battle of the Bastards. And as always, be sure to subscribe wherever you like to watch IGN.